For sure, I definitely can agree with that. Got to know how to please women. You got to learn your woman. You know, every woman different in their own way. So
That's right.
That's why love is important. Because if you love her, you'll want to get to know her, want to get to learn her, everything about it. That way, you can please her to the fullest potential. You know.
Right, and see, love is inclusive.
Yeah.
Your woman is not by herself. She got parents, she got siblings.
Exactly.
You know, she got a life, she got a career path. You know, all of that is involved, you know, and so if you're not ready to take on the whole package, then if I was you, I'd stay away from that, you know. Please don't mess up by having sex because that's going to make it worse.
Definitely. So do you think, what role do you think social media plays in relationships today? You think it's ruining it?
Oh man, I mean, so many people. Let me say this, and I mean this with respect. There are so many people that don't go to church. I'm a Bible believing man. I believe in the Bible, but in the Bible, you know, it gives you, you know, some tools. If you don't have those tools, you know, you'll listen to anybody. And you know, Steve Harvey, you listen to anybody and let them tell you what love is and how to do this and how to do that. No, I think you should stick to the guideline of the Bible and go from there. You know, it tells you about the opposite sex. It tells you about relationships that evolve into marriage. You know, those type of things. And it's not rules, it's guidelines. You know, and if you abide by them, it'll be for your benefit. You know, people think it's rules. That's why they don't want to play by the Bible. But it's God's way of telling you, if He say don't do this, it's for your own benefit. You're not ready for that. And once you do it anyway, you know, you'll see. You wish you had a way. I bet you more than half of America, especially females, wish they had a way. You know, because once you turn that light switch on, you can't just turn it off. Now your body has a need.
For sure. Like I said, it ain't nothing to play with, you know. And I definitely agree with you. The Bible holds what's, you know, the information that's will get us through, you know, to help us. And you know, the Bible just stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth, you know. So it's definitely something good to, you know, intake, you know, as far as the information that's in it, it's good to intake that and learn from it. You know, it's a lot of different people that lived before us that went through things just like us, very similar, and we can learn from their stories, and you know, it would help us get through our lives. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
I definitely would encourage people to get in that book. But next question is, what do you think? What women and men want? Like, do you think that has changed, or do you think it's still the same?
I think what men and women need hasn't changed. You know, they need love, and they need support, and they need help. And everybody needs to know they're not in this thing by themselves. And there are some struggles that are much easier to tackle if you tackle them together. You know, so they need companionship. You know, learn one another, that kind of stuff. You know, but now when you say want, you know, couples want things that you have to earn, you know, in relationships, but they want them right away. They want sex, you know, they want financial favors, you know, from one another. They give up too much information, too much private information that should be personal, you know, until a person proves themselves worthy of that information. You know, that's what they want, you know. And in some cases they get it, you know. So social media is part of that, you know. They learn one another, like this dating online. You look at the picture first, you figure out, oh, do I want to date him? Do I want to date her? You see where they work at, how much money they make, how many kids they got. Then you think on this and say, do I really want to involve myself and all this? A real relationship is when you get to know a person. You get to know that individual, and then you build up on that. You know, you don't look at all the attachments and decide whether or not you're ready to deal with that. If that person could be a person that has been through some things, and that they're not the same person anymore. You know, they could be a totally different person now, but you're basing on, you know, how many kids they got or how much money they make and all that on whether or not you want to date them. You could be missing a gold mine.
Yeah.
And that woman dropped out of college because she got pregnant. But now she's learned some sense. She's well educated. She got 2 degrees and work, got a master. All you don't know what you're missing out.
Definitely.
Everybody learns or benefits from mistakes.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes, whether we own up to them or not. And so you want an individual that has learned from their mistakes. So that they don't have to learn from you. Make that same mistake with you. They'll already have learned. That kind of thing. So. Yeah, I believe there's some difference in wants and needs.
For sure. Like you said, the needs definitely don't change. I don't think they ever will. I mean, we all, what you need is what you need. But
that's right.
Of course, what we want is like, man, with the things I see in this generation is really crazy. Like, especially like from females. Like you said, financially, one for sure. Like, it's like a requirement to have certain things before you even date. Like, I've seen women online say, "Oh, you gotta make 100,000 a day. You gotta be a millionaire." Stuff like that. It's just all these big requirements and expectations for people, and it's like, I think social media definitely plays a part in that too. It's so many different opinions. They listening to Cardi B and listening to Megan Thee Stallion and all these different female opinions on what should go, how this should go, how that should go. The rappers really have a big influence, in the world especially for the audiences that really pay attention. Like, it really affects their lives, like in the way they live and stuff. I even noticed it in mine. Like, just looking back on it, on my life. I was actually doing it earlier today. I was looking back at my life. I'm just like, all the rap music I listen to and the artists I listen to, I start really like diving into them, who they are as a person and what type of music they make. And I started seeing it the way it affected me. Because, you know what I'm saying? What you listen to, stuff you intake, it's what's going to come out. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. And while you're talking about that, the women that they talk about and what the women do and how much fun they have, that becomes the kind of woman you're looking for
exactly,
now. And in most cases, you're gonna find, I can't find one of those.
Definitely, that is so true.
But see, in relationships, I'm gonna give you one example. Like, say, sex. They want the sex, but they don't want what comes with sex. Most women on birth control, on the pill, or they use some type of preventive. Most men use condoms. At the very least, they try to pull out because they don't want what comes with sex, and that's what really takes away from evolving into marriage. It's like, of course, you want to be whatever, financially ready and mentally ready and all that, but if you love that woman, when that woman tells me she's pregnant, I'm not saying, "Oh my God, what happened?" and you got to get rid of it. I'm happy. We'll figure out how to take care of that baby. Right. You better not get rid of my baby. That's my baby, and that baby with me and you makes me even love it more. And so you can't detach from sex what you want and keep what you want. You know what I'm saying? That's the pattern of relationship. You can't detach what comes with a relationship and keep what you want. Yeah. You either in it or you're not.
That's so true. It's like people just want the good parts of everything.
Yeah.
Like, it don't come with the bad. It's y'all gotta understand that it all works together. The good and the bad works together.
That's right.
So you can't have one without the other. Let's talk about marriage. Do you think that marriage is still the goal of people today, or do you think it's not? What do you think about that?
I would say it's 50-50. Marriage should be the ultimate goal because marriage is a commitment above commitments. Marriage says, I've been through the process of elimination. I've looked at the different contestants, and that kind of thing, and I've searched the world over, and I don't think I'm gonna find no one better than you. You make me happy, and I want to wake up every morning looking with you. In the fights I gotta fight, I want to fight them with you on my side. See, I see a lot of couples, especially women, who settle, and they settle with sleeping with a man or letting a man live with them, that kind of thing. But the man never marries them. That's the ultimate disrespect to me. If I'm going to give you what you can't buy in Kmart, a woman's body, my body, my time, my innermost thoughts and my help, you can't buy that in Kmart. So if I'm willing to give you all of me, I need you to, commit to give me all of you. And if you're not ready, that's fine, but that means you're not ready for this either.
Yeah.
So many women give up, their bargaining tools, so to speak, because they want that part of the relationship, bad. And so they'll settle, I'm not going to lose him because he already said he's not ready for marriage and he don't want no kids and all that kind of stuff. Well, if he's not ready for marriage and he don't want no kids, that's cool. But he's not ready for me. Mm-hmm. That's not going to change. How I really feel on the inside 10 years down the road, that's not going to change. I want kids. I want a family. I want to be married. I want to be chosen. I want to be selected above all other women. That kind of thing, it's not going to change. You settle, and if you settle, you'll never find the right man. You just settle for one. So that's why I think a marriage has been left out, so to speak. And then there's some who do it but don't do it right. Yeah. They just do it, for the title. Mm-hmm. But how many marriages? They don't have commitment. They have cheating by both parties multiple times. That couple shouldn't have gotten married in the first place. Yeah. That's right. Until you're ready for a commitment, and a commitment means for richer, for poor, for better, for worse, in sickness or in health. That's my boo. That's who I want. And whatever we got to fight through, we'll fight through it. We'll work through it. Whatever. When I say fight, I don't mean putting your hands on it. I'm just saying fight together. Mm-hmm. But you got to include all of that, involve all of that for a real relationship.